guys, it's Paul Williams, your productivity coach. Once again, I am going to show you how to put a listing into the MLS. So let's get started. I've got the MLS open right here already. And you'll notice over here that I've got this address. So I've already put, this is going to be the property address. I've already put it in and I've run a search. And you can't see this. I think my head is blocking it. Hold on a second. Let me move me over here. Okay. You'll see down over here, I'm just going to hit search, and it's going to pop up. Here's when it's been on the market in the past. And then I sorted it by the listing date. So this is the newest one. This is when this particular client bought this particular house, and here it is. So now I've now listed the home for sale. So we're going to put it in the MLS. So I'm going to go to listings, click on that, and then we want to do add a listing. Oops, I just dropped that. Add a listing, residential. And it's going to come up here in a minute. And there it is. First thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go to tax autofill, and I'm going to go San Diego. Click on that. And all I need to do is put in the address. I just did it wrong. It's 10068, I think. Let's go look again. Yeah, okay. So that's it. And now I'm going to do a search. And it's now found it. And there it is. I'm going to select it. And I'm going to say autofill right there. Click autofill. It's going to ask me, do I want to put all this in there? The answer is yes. So I'm going to save it. And now it's already filled in the parcel number, the address, etc. That almost looks like it has a, that's not on my screen, never mind. It looked like it had a period after that. So now it's a residential, it's a new listing status. I'm going to go to that at the very end. Yeah, and I'll explain why in a minute. If there's a co-listing agent, I'll put that in here. Listing date. I'm just going to say 3/28. Oops. Well, I'll just click on this and take today. Expiration date is, this one I'm going to enter in manually, is 12/31/2018. Yes, I took a 9-month listing. I'll explain that. Value range pricing. No. We'll talk about value range pricing another time. We've got it listed for $900,000. It's got the parcel numbers automatically filled in from the tax search that we did. There's no post direction, unit number, space, nothing like that. San Diego, the county is San Diego. It's in Rancho Penasquitos 92129. See how that's already filled in. Now here it has validate map. So this is usually pretty accurate. I always just like to double check it because sometimes it doesn't work. By the way, they just switched over like the beginning of this week. They used to use Bing Maps. They now use Google Maps. So I can come in here and zoom in on it. I can I change? Yeah. I can change it from the road map to an aerial view. I can come zoom in on it. It seems to think it's that house right there. I can come in and double check. Yes, it is. It is that house. So I'm going to go back to the road view. I'm going to try to come out a little bit, zoom out. So it's got it properly selected. If it didn't, I can pick it up and drag it. I can tell it, no, you're wrong. But in this case, it's right. So it gives us the map coordinates, and I'm just going to say save. Okay? It still puts in the old Thomas Brothers map coordinates that nobody ever uses anymore, ever. Haven't in, what, 15 years? Something like that, but they still have it in here. Now, the community, I'm going to come over here, and the community is called Rancho Penasquitos. We all affectionately know it as PQ, but if I type PQ in here, it doesn't know what that is. So we know Rancho Bernardo as RB. Well, this knows Rancho Penasquitos as, oops, what happened to Rancho Penasquitos? I'd also type it in. Right, yeah, there it is right there, RP. That's weird that it didn't come up. And I'm going to say save. So if you're talking to somebody in Rancho Penasquitos and you refer to it as RP, they're going to give you a really weird look like, where? Because everybody knows it as PQ. Neighborhood, this is in Kentfield Estates. Now, what happens if you don't know that? Well, let's look at what they said previously. Okay, so here she said she called it Kentfield, but who is she? Okay, Deborah Sanchez and Susan Botts. Deborah Sanchez was up in Los Angeles. Does she know definitively that it's Kentfield Estates? I wouldn't rely on her. Sue Botts, she's with Century 21 down here. She probably knows a little bit better. This is the CRMLS listing of that same one. That's because that's where the first gal up in Riverside, Irvine, Debbie Sanchez is. So she has that in here. I wouldn't use that one again. I wouldn't use an outside agent to double check these things. And then the oldest one is Sue Herndon, formerly of Keller Williams Realty. She's retired. So she might be a pretty good authoritative source. But let me show you something here real quick. See that square footage number, right? Oops. That square. How about, that's not going to work. 2914 square feet. Look at what the MLS put in from the Sandicor, or from the tax records, rather. The tax records show it as 2849. So why did Sue have it as 2914? We could dig in this and find out if we wanted. Who knows? Maybe they did a slight change and had an appraiser come out and measure it, or who knows? We could figure that out, but we want to be able to quote the source, and it has to be authoritative. So we don't have that appraisal or whatever it was that she used. So since we don't have it, it doesn't matter what she used, because we don't have it. We can't cite it. So in the listing, we're going to have to sort that we got it from public records. Hold on a second. I need to take a sip of water here. My throat's getting a little dry. Nice clear water. That's awesome stuff. Okay. Cross Street. Again, what we can do is we can look at this quick search that I did. There's the map. Freeport comes up and runs cross street to Riverhead. So it's going to be Freeport. By the way, it's after hours, so I can drink whatever water I want. Bedrooms, optional bedrooms. Now, this one has a huge bonus room that could certainly serve as a bedroom. So I'm going to say it has an optional bedroom. So it could have as many as 6 bedrooms. It does not have any half baths. They're all full. Square footage, the zoning, that's all input. Was built in 1984. Compensation to buyer broker, we're going to put in 2.5%. But Paul, I thought you took all your listings at 6. This is a personal friend of mine. I sold him the house 2 years ago. He's going to be buying something else, so I'm giving him a break. And all commissions are negotiable by law. Okay, variable commission. What is that? This is not. All right. That would be if that, there's some reason you put it in some crazy thing saying, the commission is based on price or something like that. We don't do that. Entry only. This would be for discount brokers or limited service brokers. We are not that. So entry only is a no. There we are. Limited service. Same idea. No. Is it a short sale? No. VOW, that's value on web is what I think that stands for. That's those things like Zillow estimates and that kind of a thing. When we publish that out, what they're asking is, can they put their value estimate along with this? Now, why would you not? Let's say you know that you're really high priced, crazy high priced. You may not want to put that on there, but that is something that people like to look at. Internet syndication, yes or no? Yes, we're doing that because it's going to go out through the KWLS and not the MLS. We can talk about that if you don't know. IDX, what is that? So we all have different websites, and a lot of these websites, the little individual realtor websites, will have an IDX feed, which means that it populates their individual websites with new listings as they come up, and they display Anna Coldwell Banker, John Smith, realtor. This listing will populate on his page as well. we've all kind of agreed we're going to share that. And so it's mutually beneficial to have it out there as much as possible. Again, I'm looking for a buyer for this house. Whether I represent him or not, the best interests of the seller are to get it out there to as many people as possible. Internet address field, full address, no address, partial address. Full address is fine. People are going to figure it out anyway. You're not being clever by partial address or no address. So I just put full address. Automated valuation model. Oh, I'm sorry. You know what? The VOW, that's another type of syndication like the IDS. So forgive me on that. I don't know that anybody even uses that anymore. The AVM is an automated valuation model. That's the Zillow estimate. You just say yes. You want it on Realtor.com? Yes. Allow comments and review. Sure, why not? Nobody really does that anyway. That would be, again, if it's on Zillow and somebody goes, oh, I love this house. Yeah, I just don't see people commenting on that much on it anyway. Residential styles. By the way, all these R's are required. You didn't see that up here already. Okay, required only. So that means I can finish this and not fill this in, and it's not going to stop me. But residential styles. So I'm going to click over here on the little search icon thingy. Let that pop up. And this is telling me it's a detached home. I'm assuming you guys know the difference, but I'll go through these real quick. Let's skip this one for now. Detached, that's a single family detached home. That's a house, okay? Modular home, that's where they bring it out to the site. They have like the walls already constructed and they just kind of assemble it on there. Manufactured home is a real similar kind of a thing. Mobile home is when it has wheels and you can hook it up and pull it off. Usually the land is not owned in a mobile home park. A row home is typically a series of townhouses that are all connected together side to side. They have a front entrance and a back entrance, some sort of a backyard. Those are mostly popular. We have some down in like Mission Valley area. Down in Kearney Mesa, there's some. Mostly these are kind of like a back east kind of a thing. People back on the East Coast would know a row home like that. They wouldn't even ask what that is. A townhome, same kind of an idea, except that a townhome, and by the way, a townhome, row home, twin home, and all other attached are all types of condominiums. And a condominium is a type of ownership. You're owning it in common with all the other people that live in that condominium complex, okay? So it's a legal distinction. Within that legal distinction, there are different types of architectural styles. One might be a row home. A townhome would be where it's typically 2 stories, but it's only attached maybe to 1 or 2 others. So it's not like these row houses, okay? It can be a single story, but it's almost always attached to a townhome, 2-story type of thing, okay? So there's a little graying of lines, but basically it's owned as a condominium, and it's some sort of a 2-story home, or if it is a single story, it's one of a few within that whole complex. Perfect example is up in Rancho Bernardo, name of it escapes me right this second. Playmore in Mira Mesa is another one. It's the same manufacturer, but that's a typical townhome kind of condominium complex. Twin home down in Rancho Penasquitos, Feather Ridge on the north side of the 56. On the south side of the 56 off of Park Village, there's a whole complex in there that are all twin homes. They can be 1 or 2-story homes. They're attached by 1 common wall, typically. All the rest fall on under all other attached. I like to say that basically those are apartment-style condominiums. When I say that, everybody understands that. Over on Alva and Rancho Bernardo, there's these big buildings with all these, it's 3 stories high and all these condominiums in there. That's a all other attached. Okay, so this one's a single family home. It's detached. So I'm going to say save. Listing type: exclusive agency, exclusive right to lease, new. Exclusive right with exception, new. Net, new. Open, new. Probate, no. So it's either an exclusive agency or an exclusive right. Exclusive agency means it's listed with Keller Williams and there's no real agent attached to it. You never see this. Okay, there's always an agent there. Exclusive right means he's listed with moi, me. I have that listing. If it was for lease, I could do an exclusive right to lease. Exclusive right with exception would be, let's say that he says, but my brother-in-law is a new agent and, maybe if he brings us a buyer, or that's an exception. Okay, so I'm going to make an exception for his brother. I'm not going to, by the way. Never use any of these. A net listing, you'll never use. What that is where you say, the seller says, I have to net so much money out of the house, X number of dollars, and anything over that you can have. BRE does not like those at all. Don't do it. I guess now it's the DRE again. So if you forget DRE. Open listing means you went in and listed the property and you're not acting as his agent. You're just listing it to put it in the MLS. All the negotiations and everything go through the seller. You'll see some companies do this. They take a fee of $500 or $600 or whatever it is just to put it in the MLS. And then they say, oh, do you want a lockbox? That's extra. There's a fee for service. And then probate would be if people died intestate and it has to go into the probate court, meaning they didn't have a will. Okay? So this is an exclusive right. Age restrictions, there are none here. So none known. Rancho Bernardo, Oaks North, Seven Oaks, those are famous for their age restrictions. Jurisdiction, it gives you all these, is it in the unincorporated or incorporated part of San Diego? This one happens to be in the incorporated part. Really? Who cares? Nobody searches for that. So I'm going to leave it off. Pets, I'm going to leave that off. Most single-family detached homes don't typically have restrictions on pets unless you get into some HOAs, and then they might have some restrictions on like pit bulls or something like that, but you'll see those in the HOA. If you know that they exist, I would probably put them in here as allowed with restrictions. Okay, these are more common in condominiums. You almost always see some sort of pet restrictions with condominiums. Sign on the property, is there a sign there? Yes or no? Yes, there is. Okay, it's not a VRBO. And year built source. Okay, remember when I said earlier about the square footage? This one's also asking us, where did we get the year built? Well, we got it from public records right there, from the tax rolls. That's public records. Okay, so far we've gotten a lot done. We're done with the listing facts. Now we're going to go to general information. Architectural style, don't know, don't care. Attached style, it's not attached. Is there an elevator? No. Units in complex, these are all for condominiums. Entry-level building, is it an entry-level unit? Entry 3+ steps to entry. I'm going to say no, because it doesn't. I like to put that in there because you might have some people that, they're wheelchair bound or something like that, or they're older or whatever, they have hip dysplasia or something, and they can't climb stairs. So I want them to know they're not going to have to climb stairs to come in to the house. And there is a first level bedroom. So it might be a family that's looking to have their mother-in-law live with them, right? And so that would be important that has a downstairs bedroom and bath, and grandma can walk into the house and not go up and down stairs. So I like to put that in there. Exclusive use yard. This is really important in condominiums more than anything else, because almost all single-family detached homes have an exclusive yard. But does it hurt to put that in? Absolutely not. Go ahead and put it in there. Approximate living space. We're going to drop this down again. This is not required, but the more information you have in here, the better it is for agents searching for stuff. So this house is $2,850, so I'm going to select F. It's between $2,500 and $2,999. Save that. Source of square feet, and I'm kind of rolling through this a little quickly. So otherwise we're on here all day. Again, public records, you could put public records or the assessor record. I'm going to say assessor. The tax rolls show us the tax assessor's information, their record. Stories, it's a 2-story home. Boom, right there. Subflooring, who cares? Almost everything is 2x4s and plywood. Fireplaces. This is the number. There's one fireplace. And you'll see right now that this is not required. But once I put in a 1, now it's required. And it's asking me, well, Paul, where is that fireplace? In this house, it's in the family room. If there were more, I could do that. Let's say that they had an outside. You see this patio outdoors. Let's say that he had a one of those, like a chimenea kind of things where they have a big outdoor fireplace. That would be included here. We have a big fire pit out front, so I can include that here. Okay, and it's gas and a gas starter. Gas starter is one of those, the key in the wall where you stick it in there, and you turn it on. That's a gas starter. An electric starter would be one where you have a button on the wall that you push it and the gas turns on and poof, the light thing, the fireplace starts up. Okay. Anything else in here? They've really put in a ton of stuff in here when they combined us with the MLS, the Marietta Temecula MLSs. They added in a bunch of other fields that we can use. Interior walls, I don't care. Oh, master bedroom dimensions. Now, ideally, what you want to do is when you go and you meet with your, when you meet with your seller, you want to have an electronic tape measure. I have one in my car. And when you get done signing all the paperwork, that's the time to take the dimensions. We always forget to do it because we're excited and we want to get out of Dodge because it's now 8:30 at night. We want to get home. And we're excited. Happens all the time. So now you get home, and next day you're going to sit down at the computer, you're going to enter this into the MLS, and you're like, oh, I never got the dimensions. Here's what you do. Remember earlier when I pulled this thing up and I looked at the previous listings, and I like to look at who the agent was that listed it, for the very reason that there are some that are better than others, and I want to know how accurate were they, or were they lazy like I'm showing you to be just right now, and never verified this stuff. So what I'm going to do, I know that this one is accurate. How do I know that? Because I represented the buyer, and we actually measured them, so we know that they're close. They're good enough for government work. But had I not done that, I would still use this technique, but then the next time I went over to the house, I would take those measurements and make sure they're true and accurate. And if they weren't, I'd come back to the MLS and I would change those. So I'm going to drop down the reports field. I'm going to close the details. I'm going to open specialty views, and I'm going to say all fields customizable. You can pick any one of these. They're all different. What I'm looking for is the bedrooms, all the room sizes. Okay, so I got to keep scrolling down. Okay, this one doesn't have it. This particular, oh yeah, they do. But I don't like how that's laid out. That's kind of choppy, so I'm going to grab a different report. That one. And let's see what we got. Okay, so now you can see here I've got all the room sizes are kind of stacked right on top of each other. This one's going to work out for me. Now what I do is I come down here to the snipping tool, which is available in Windows 10. If you don't have it down here, you're going to want to put a little link to it, a little shortcut. I'm going to say new, and I'm going to take a snippet of this. I'm going to make sure I get these two over here. Okay. See all these different dimensions, and I'm going to come down and I'm going to grab all of the room dimensions that they've got. Now, why did I do that? Why did I do that rather than, well, because it's going to make it really easy for me. Because what I'm going to do is, and you know what, I'm not going to show you, this is going to be off screen in a second here. Because what I'm going to do is I'm going to diminish this window, okay? And I'm going to go back to my listings page where it's starting to ask me the master bedroom dimensions. And what I've got to do, let me just look at this, see what this looks like here real quick. Okay. Yeah, I don't want to, if I drag that in there, it's not going to help you, but that's okay. All right. I don't know if you saw the snipping tool or not, but what it did was it made a copy of what I encircled there. So now I can leave this off to the side, and it's over there. So I can see what these dimensions are. So when I go into the master bedroom, I can see that it says 18 by 14. Bedroom 2 is and I have to drag that over a little bit, is 12. Now, this is what kills me. It's 10 by 12, bedroom 2. Okay, you never put that in as 10 by 12. You put that in as 12 by 10. Okay, just common sense. Bedroom 3 is 11 by 10, and 4 is 10 by 10. So 11 by 10, 10 by 10, and interestingly enough, they left off a bedroom because they thought that this was a 4-bedroom with a bonus room, and it's not. It's a 5-bedroom with a bonus room. So what I'm just going to do here is, because they didn't have it in here, I can go look at one of the other listings. I can go over here and look at the next one and see what they have. Oh, it's the same one because that was the Temecula one. Okay. Let's see what she has. Bedroom 4, bedroom 5, she left it off too. Anyway, okay, well, I'm going to just guess it's going to be around 10 by 10. So I'm going to put 10 by 10, and I'm going to double check all of these later on, okay? So now I'm going to go to the dining room, and again, I've got this stuff just off screen so that I can see it. I'll just drag it over a little bit. There we go. Dining room, 8 by 14. Wrong, 14 by 8. Family room, don't have it on that one. Kitchen, I'm going to go 11 by 9. And, wow, they didn't even have the extra room dimensions on it. Oh, yeah, they have it somewhere else. Okay, that's fine. So now I'm going to come back up. I had to scroll that thing over to get it to where I could see it because it had 2 columns on it. So, because when I click back into this, it masks that and I can't see it. So, family room, now I can see it, is a 17 by 16, not 16 by 17. The living room is not 13 by 17, but 17 by 13. Excuse me. And then he has a bonus room, and that's going to be, oh, there it is, 17 by 16. It's a huge bonus room. Okay? There we go. Garage has 2 garage spaces. So now I can go over and I can get rid of this snipping tool. I don't need that anymore. And I can maximize this again. And let me just check my camera. Okay, everything looks good. Well, except for me, sorry. Okay, so garage, parking garage spaces 2. These are parking garage, so I'm going to click on this. It's asking me, what is the garage? It's attached. And, again, these things a lot of them have to do with condominiums, okay? Direct garage access, it does. It comes from the laundry room. Does he have a garage door opener? Sure. Garage front entry, rear entry, side entry. I don't know. I don't know what they mean. Again, that's for Temecula. That's what the things that they have. Garage, is it a 3-door? Is it a single door? Is it a 2-door? Well, it's a single 2-car garage door, so sure. Again, I don't know anybody that says, you know what, Paul? I want a 2-car garage, but I want the separate doors. If it doesn't have the separate garage doors, I don't want to see it. It just doesn't happen. That's an after effect. It has 1 or 2. Yeah, okay, great. Parking non-garage spaces, 2. And then it's going to come up right underneath there, and it's going to say, oh, that's required now. Or not. But I'm going to tell it's in the driveway. There we go. Okay. RV parking, frontage dimensions in feet, lot dimensions, approximate. Well, we just got that right there. It's about 0.13 acres. Okay. Lot size, so I'm going to come over here, click the search. 0.13 acres. Okay, so, in fact, I thought it had lot square footage. So, what is an acre? 54,000. What is it? 54,560. So it's 0.13. So it's 5,400 plus another 152. So 5,700. So it's right in there. So that's the size right there. Save. Okay. Oh, right there, 5,790. Okay, pretty good math there, Paul. I thought it had that there. I just missed it. Yeah, you guys all saw it. I know you're laughing at me. Lot size square. Where did we get that from? We got it from county tax records. Okay, we could say the assessor record. We could say the city county records. You know, it really doesn't matter. We just want to be able to cite a source. So I'm going to say assessor record. So I'm going to say land use, animal designation, boat facilities have nothing to do with anything here. So I'm going to just drop down into the next section. By the way, before I go any further, I'm going to come up here and I'm going to say save as partial listing. And I'm going to continue the input. Okay. The reason you do that is because if something happens and your computer dies on you, you don't want to miss anything. Okay. You don't want to have lost all of this work that you've done. You guys all learned that in college, I know. Okay, so features. So it's automatically input where the fireplace is, all these different things. I can come up here and add in some more if I want. Okay. Additional property use. This is a big part of where you're going to be searching. Okay. So, you know, does it have a barbecue? These are complex features, so I don't need those. That's for condominiums. Additional property use. Has a grove or a business. It doesn't have any of that. Configuration, single wide, double depth. What is all this? This is for mobile homes. Don't want any of that. Cooling. We have central forced air. Okay. I think he has an attic. Yeah, he has an attic fan also. That's one of those things where after the long, hard summer's day, it's really hot. You come home, but it's now 6 o'clock and it's cooled down nicely. You can open a couple of windows and suck all the cool air in through the house. It's cheaper than running your air conditioner, and it's very effective. This would be wall window. This is all about the cooling. Does he have swamp cooler, et cetera, et cetera. Dual electric, evaporative energy star. Is it gas? It's gas. Is it a high efficiency? I don't know. Is it SEER rated? I don't know. A whole house fan. That's the one I really want, as opposed to an attic fan. Attic fan could be where, like I had one in my first house where we had one on one side of the attic and one on the other, and they both blew in the same direction, so it would blow all the hot air out. And it was temperature controlled, so when it got to a certain temperature, those things would kick on. It was kind of cool. Good deal. Helped keep the house cooler because it blew all the heat out of the attic. Equipment. Okay, so this is just in the house. He's got a 6-burner stove. No. He does have a barbecue. It's built in. Does he have a built-in range? Continuous clean oven. Does he have a countertop? Yeah, he does. You know, right? Dishwasher. He's got a disposal. He's got a double oven. I can't remember definitively if that's a double oven or a single oven, so I'm not going to check that. Dryer, washer and dryer. I don't think he's leaving the dryer behind, so I'm not going to put that. What is his range? Is it gas, Paul? Is it electric? I don't remember right now, so I'm just going to leave it off. And if I want to come back later on, I can do it. Does he have a garage door opener? He does. Gas oven, gas range, grill, etc. Ice maker. Now that means that he's leaving his refrigerator if I'm going to say he's got his ice maker. So I don't know if he's planning on leaving his refrigerator or not. That's something we can talk about when we get that. We'll get an offer on it. So I'm going to go through all of these things, and I can come back later and decide whether or not I'm going to, make sure that these are all true and accurate. Okay. So on the outside, he's stucco. That's good enough. Fencing. He's got full fencing. He's got a gate, and again, he's got a pool back there. Is it in excellent, good condition? Again, who's looking at all this stuff? I don't know. He's also got out in the front, he's got a stucco wall. He's got glass on the top of it, but I'm not going to keep doing this. Fireplace is all done because we did that earlier. Floor covering, okay, he's got some carpet, and he's got some wood floors. Okay, so that's all fine. Frontage, is he on the bay? Is he back up to National Forest? Is he on a canyon? Is he next to the freeway, golf course, etc.? If any of these apply, you check on those. No guest house. The heat equipment is forced air unit, and I can double check that by looking at the old ones and seeing what they had. I happen to know he's got a forced air unit. Heat source, that's natural gas. Okay, that means it's coming from SDG&E. And I'm hearing some noise. Like somebody's running a vacuum cleaner. I don't know if you can hear that or not. I apologize if you can. There it's done. There, see how well I do these things. Homeowners fees include. He has no homeowners fees, and he has no metal roofs. Irrigation. Does he have any sprinklers? I don't know, so I'm not going to say that he does. When in doubt, say that it doesn't. It's not there. Okay. Laundry location. It's in the laundry room. Okay, there we go. Again, are they gas? Are they electric? I don't know, so I'm just going to leave it off. I can always call him and ask him or send him an email. And usually what I do is I keep notes of the things that I have questions on. And so when I'm all done, I'll email the seller and say, hey, by the way, could you verify for me what is your range? Is it gas or electric or whatever? And I just ask them these questions and send that to them. And then they'll send you an email back and tell you, and then you can go in here and finish it up. Miscellaneous. Does it have a tennis court, horse property? None of those things. Other fee types, security guards, gates, all that kind of stuff. Other lockbox. What is it? Okay. I'm going to put on a central lockbox. Ownership. Now, this one is for your title officer to answer. Almost everybody has a fee simple ownership, but they can dig into that a little bit more for you. PUD would be like Rancho Bernardo, where they have the 0 lot lines. Those are called a PUD, a planned unit development. You'll see that a lot. You'll see a condominium a lot. These other ones, not so much. Land lease in Florida. In La Jolla, they have those. It was Indian land over in La Jolla. So a lot of the places right along the water, they're actually on land leases. Yeah, people don't realize that if they haven't worked in La Jolla. Parking for RV. Does he have any parking? No, not really. You might have on-site parking, potential space. You can put all those things in. He doesn't have any space. The garage, we already covered all that. Covered all that. Patio. Okay, does he have a patio? Yes, he does. He has stone tile patio out front. This is funny. They call it an Arizona room. Here in California, we call it a California room. He's got a patio. It's an open patio. He doesn't have a porch. Terrace wood, wraparound, none of those things. But okay, so he's got all those. Pool, yes, he's got a below ground pool. It's private. Not a black bottom. Does he have a diving board? No. What kind of, how is it heated? Again, nobody's really going to search for all this stuff. So leave it off. Let them figure it out when they're in escrow. Their physical inspector will, go through all that. They'll figure all that out. I'm sure it's a gas pool heater. In fact, I know it is because I've seen it. Possession. When can they have possession? Call the listing agent. Typically, you'll have close of escrow, close +3. We used to do close +3 all the time, and they don't really do that so much anymore. It used to be that you would say you want to give the sellers the ability to close the escrow and then give them a day or two to get out, right? A lot of people are saying don't do that anymore because then if they don't move, you got to kick them out and all that stuff. Every house has CC&Rs, so do that. If you're La Jolla along the coast, you have the Coastal Commission that is going to have a say in what can be done with that. Residential unit location, there's a unit above or below. Again, condominiums, I don't care. Roof, composition, concrete, metal, rock, rolled hot mop, tile, clay, wood, yada, 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 asbestos, shingle, asphalt. What are all? Is it a bitumen? Is it a bitumen? I don't know. I'm not a roofer. How do I know what all this stuff is, right? So what he's got is, I know it's a particular type. It looks like a tile clay roof. It's not. It's a slightly different manufacturer. So it's kind of hard to say exactly what that thing is. It's not really an asbestos shingle. And I know this because when we did the inspection, this was a big question mark as to what this thing was. So I'm going to just kind of skip that and let the pictures tell the story. Sales restrictions, okay? You can read through all of these. Notice of default as an REO. What they don't have on here that I wish that they would put in here is that it's contingent upon the seller finding suitable housing. This is where it should be, is right here, and they don't. So I'm going to say call agent, and then I'm also going to disclose that in the MLS separately. School district, we're in the Poway Unified School District. Zoom, 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 down to Poway. Where are we? Right there. Boom. Searchable rooms, bedroom entry level. You want to put that in there. He's got a bonus room. He's got a breakfast area. He's got a dining room. He's the dining area. He's got a dining room. He's got a family room. He has a formal entry, sort of. He does. Library loft, master bedroom 2, master bedroom retreat, master bedroom entry level. All of these different things. Optional bedrooms. I've already got that checked anyway. I don't care so much. Walkout basement. You see that back east, not here in San Diego. All of these kind of things. What is a family kitchen? Typically, that's a big kitchen where you have a big table in the middle of it and everybody eats in the kitchen. Again, more popular back east or really big homes. Galley kitchen is one of those that's long and narrow. That's not seen as a positive, so I don't know that I would put that in there. What's a Jack and Jill? That's a bedroom that's separated with a bathroom. Jack and Jill both share the bathroom. Okay. Does it have a kitchen? Yes. Glory be, it has a kitchen. It has a laundry. It has a living room. It has a master bathroom and a master bedroom. Good grief. See what I'm saying? You got a bunch of kind of silly stuff in here. Okay. Security doesn't really have any. Sewer, septic. Septic is in. I'm sorry. Sewer is connected. You see septic up in Ramona, in the outback areas, Valley Center, those kinds of things. Okay. Site, does it have alley access, a corner lot, a cul-de-sac? You want to check that one if it does. Curbs, yeah, it has curbs. Woohoo! A lot of people search for that. Kidding. Now they would in certain areas, like Rancho Santa Fe. They don't want curbs. They don't want sidewalks over there. So this one has sidewalks. Street is paved west of the I-5. That's worth some money. West of the 101, worth even more money. So if you're over there, you want to have those checked. If you're a listing agent and you've got one sitting in Solana Beach on Cedros, recently sold, you better have that checked, because there will be agents that are going to just check west of 101. We want something right there on the water, which I guess technically Cedros was just east of the 101. Sprinklers in front, in rear, whatever. Skirting, again, I'm just going to go through all of that. There's a spa that's in the pool, so it's private with the pool. He has a spa, yes. There's a bathtub, a spa tub. You'd put that in there. Spa heat, that's going to be gas because it's with the pool. Structures, are there any barns or anything like that? None of that. I'm going to skip through it. Telecommunications, he's got cable. The rest of it, I'm just not even going to worry about too much, unless he has some really high-end stuff or something like that we want to do. Terms, if he has assumable financing, if you can buy at Calvet. I don't remember what the Calvet limits are, but you could, because you could still do a Calvet and put enough money down. They can pay us cash. We're happy to take conventional financing. FHA probably wouldn't do it because they'll do better with conventional financing. The buyer would. Lease option, no, no, no. Seller may carry, no. VA, sure, we'll look at VA. Cash to existing loan, that means they're going to take over his current loan. That's like an assumption. Cash to new loan, yeah, that's the same as one of these. They're putting a down payment and giving a new loan financing. That's just a different terminology they use up there, so I'm sure we'll do that. Topography, is it, how's it located? Is it level? Are we in the mountains? What is it? Okay. This is kind of at the top of the hill, so it's level up there. So I'll say level. Does it have any view? Yeah, it has view of those very same mountains and hills. Okay. It does not have what I call a double peak view. That's where you have to stand on the peak of the roof to get a peek of the view. That doesn't have that. You see that all the time. Agents will say, ocean view, and you're like, well, where's the view? Well, from that upstairs bathroom, you can just... Okay, that's deceptive advertising. That's lying, in my opinion. Water meter on property. Okay, so again, well on the property, is it irrigation, etc. Just well on property, or the meter on the property, that's what the vast majority of the homes you're going to be listing have. Water heater type, what is it? Is it gas? I happen to know it's gas. Is it propane? Is it solar? Is it a tankless? Those are the best. Constant hot water as long as you want it. Really cool. Is it Energy Star, high efficient, hot water circulator? Those are the second best thing. If you don't have a tankless, that just keeps there's a pump that just keeps hot water circulating. Those are pretty cool too. They take a little money, but to run all that. But okay, so that would be something that I would put in there. Accessibility features. Is there anything in there that makes it special for people that have things that are going to cause them to, the stairs, or they're in a wheelchair, those kinds of things? That's what they're talking about. Association amenities. There's no association, so no amenities. Disclosures, bankruptcy, beach rights, caution, CC&Rs. We already know about the CC&Rs. City inspection required. Okay, pretty much none of these except the CC&Rs really are going to typical. Unless you happen to know that there's like a big easement out and back, then I would tick that off. We can talk about easements later on. Flood insurance required. If it's in a flood zone, then flood insurance could be required. Home warranty, we might want to advertise that. LA, or listing agent, and the owner are related. Okay. Listing broker advantage. I've not seen that before. I don't know what they mean by that. Oh, that could be where if I say to him, you know what, I'm going to list your house for 6%, but if I bring in the buyer, I'll do it for 5%. That's a listing broker advantage. That's interesting that they have that. That's cool. Anytime that you get in a multiple offer situation and you're sure that you've got like the best offer, and then you find out they took another one, ask the listing agent in the beginning when you're first starting to negotiate, do you have a buyer writing on this property? Ask them that, because they're at an advantage for you, even if they've not agreed to reduce their fees. Interior features, attic, fan, balcony, bar, blah, 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 blah. I'm going to just skip through all of this stuff, okay? Are there any other structures, property condition, showing instructions? Boy, hold on a second. I'm going to just leave that off for right now. I'll explain that later. Utilities, cables connected. Okay, fine. Electricity's there. So I'm all done. I'm going to save all of those. And it's going to populate all of those fields for me. See how these are all now all populated. Okay, so I kind of did that in one fell swoop. I kind of like that. Okay, so what do we do, class? We save as a partial listing. And we say continue input, and we get another sip of water. Okay. Did that save? Okay, I'm assuming it's saved. Data share additional features, association amenities, interior features, property condition, showing instructions. I'm going to fill this in later. Typically it's, property. Oh, you know what? Let me see if they have. Here we go. We got this. Oh, remember, 48-hour notice, 24-hour notice. You have to have an accepted offer, etc., etc. But right now, I'm going to say appointment only. Okay. Fees and assessments. Homeowner fees, 0. Homeowner fees reflects, and this would be what they would pay for. How often is this paid? If there was a number there. For instance, I'll just show you that real quick. Per month, I don't know. Per year, okay. Homeowner's payment frequency. Okay, so Paul, isn't that the same thing? No, it's not. Homeowner fee reflects. I might put in here that it's $100 a month. It's up here, $100 a month, but they pay it every 6 months. So every 6 months they make a $600 payment, but it comes out to a $100 fee per month. So that's the difference between those two. Other fees, 0. Same thing here as above. Melrose, big fat 0. Okay. Homeowners Association, they're going to ask for us contact information. This is important for condominiums. especially FHA. They want to see that there's a certain number of owner-occupied units. I believe it's over. They won't lend if it's over 50%, I believe, non-owner occupiers. Any assessments that you know to be on the property, special assessments. What happens with those? Like, for example, Melrose, how is that? Sewer assessments, bonds, et cetera, et cetera. Any of those kinds of things, how are those going to be handled? We've got some bonds and stuff, Prop B and Prop BB and Props U in the Poway Unified School District that go towards the schools and the Palomar Hospital to help build that. Okay. Showing services. Do I want to enable showing scheduling? I'm going to say no. What this is showing suite, and it's kind of cool. You can make your own decisions. I'm just not even going to go any further. Mobile is not. That's only for mobile homes, and sold is only when you sell it. You got to put this information in. So the last thing we have to do here is the remarks. Okay, confidential remarks. That's where, let's say that there's a dog, really friendly dog. It actually did really friendly dog on property. Call first so owner can secure. He's a sweetheart of a dog, but he's energetic and all of that. So, okay. Directions to property. You can put in here. I can't remember what the street is. So let's say I'm going to go back here and look real quick. Okay. So I'm going to zoom out on this. It's Carmel Mountain Road. So in here, I'm going to say Carmel Mountain Road, north on Freeport, top of, whoops, come on, top of hill, turn west, house on right. Okay, now why do we put this in here? Paul, they can MapQuest it. You're right. They can do all of these things. I'm dumbing this down to the least common denominator. So the guy that forgot to put it into his Google Maps or whatever, or his internet goes out or something happens, and everybody else has left the directions to the property blank. Now, imagine yourself in that situation. Everything else has failed. You've got the printouts. You have no idea where to go. And then you see mine, and it gives you these directions. Where do you go? You go see my house, right? And you pray that the internet, your mobile service comes back up or whatever, so you can, go do it. I've got a dog barking in the background again. Showing instructions. Call Paul. That's all I'm going to put in here for now. Occupied by the owner. By the owner. Oops. Come on. Owner. There we go. Save. Occupant name. None of your business. No, it's Doug. Okay. Occupant phone. It's going to require that I put in there. Central lock. Yes. ID. I don't have that with me. I haven't put it on yet. Mandatory remarks. Are there any mandatory remarks? This would be like here, court approval, short sales, blah, blah, blah. We don't have any mandatory remarks. So we're going to say save. First right of refusal. That would mean that, let's say that his uncle, he's given his uncle an opportunity that he can put it on the market and get top dollar for it. But if the uncle wants to buy it, then, he can sell it to him instead. That would be first right of refusal. Okay. And how many hours does he have? So, for example, let's say he tells his uncle, you've got 48 hours to make that decision once I accept an offer. That's how many hours. Virtual tour, I'm not going to put all these things in here. Showing contact name. Again, I'm not going to bother with all of this. Showing contact phone, I'm probably going to end up putting in my information. All right. Now, why am I saying all this? He's wanting to sell this subject to his finding a replacement property. So that's a whole different discussion that I'm hoping we're going to cover tomorrow in Scripts and Dialogues, actually. But obviously, unless you're watching this tonight, you're not going to be at Scripts and Dialogues. But at some point, we will be covering that whole discussion. Hey, Paul, I want to sell my house, but I don't know where I'm going. I don't know what that looks like. How am I going to get there? We have a whole dialogue for that. And that determines how we're going to put it in the MLS, et cetera, et cetera. So what we would do is in here, we would say subject to seller finding replacement home. And then that tells all the agents that that's what he's doing. Okay. Now, what if I have a conversation with him and I say, hey, Doug, if you get $9 gazillion for your house and they say you got to be out in 3 days, would you get out? And he goes, yeah. That? Are you kidding? I don't care where I live. I could go get an apartment. So then we don't need to say that it's subject. If we can get your price, you'll go. Yeah, okay. Then we have to agree that if the right price comes in, we've got to list it at 900. If somebody comes in and says, I'll pay you 900, you're going to be willing to go. Yeah, I would. Okay, then it's no longer subject. Okay. But that's a real risky endeavor, so I'm not encouraging that. So if I were all done with this, okay, it's telling me right here down in the left corner, total number of fields were 81 that were required. I have 4 that are required that I still have to do. So now if I come over here and I hit Save Listing, it's going to say, oh, hold on, you've got to fill in these 4 fields yet. And so it's going to say, make sure. If you make a mistake, like if you put, today is March 28th and I put the expiration date as December of 2017, it's going to see that and go, wait a minute, are you sure about that? No, that doesn't make any sense. So it has some built-in safeguards. For right now, I'm just going to say save as partial listing. And now tomorrow when we're ready to go, and I'm going to say I'm finished. When we're ready to go on the market tomorrow, I can come in here, do my extra couple of few steps, those 4 extra fields, come in here and make it go live. And we're ready to go up and running. So it's always a good idea, if you know it's going to be a few days until you get on the market, go ahead and put it in the MLS and save it as a partial listing. Okay? So that's it. Sorry it was a little bit lengthy, but those do take some time. So hope you got value out of this. If you have any questions, as always, call Paul. Talk to you soon. Bye-bye.